Hey guys, it is Jennifer Priest. I'm hoping that we have a better connection, but it is loud out here. I'm at this hotel in Long Beach. Hey Miss Crafty T. Hi Vegas Carrie. I like these little lights out here. They're kind of fun. Hi Erin. Hi Shelly. Hi Shelly. Hi Sherry. Welcome guys. So I'm going to see if it will let me turn my camera around. I got the hotel's Wi-Fi. Hi Miss Crafty T. Hi Lori. So let's see how it looks. Not too bad. Alright, so I'm going to have to hold this with my hand because my hair's a little fluffy. Hi Val. So I'm in Long Beach. My husband is at a conference. Here we go. Turn my notifications off so that we don't have all that annoying sounds on here. Yeah, tired, totally tired. I took my makeup off because I had like rubbed it all black right here. It was crazy. All right, so I'm gonna get right into post CHA stuff. So I'm in Long Beach right now. I am tired. You know, it's funny because we go into the show and it's like work right up until the minute the show starts. So most of us are going into the show kind of exhausted already. And then you have another 5-6 days of being like on. And, you know, a lot of us work from home. So we're not used to like having to spend like 7-8 hours a day with like game face on, ready to go, like talking to people. Like my voice is gone, everybody's voice is shot because we don't talk to people all day long like that. Whereas like at CHA, we are networking and talking the whole time. So I want to know kind of what you guys want to know about the show. I guess I'll start giving my recap, but I want you to ask me questions about what sections you wanted to know more about. Okay, Shelly came up to CHA for the day, but never could track me down. I was all over. Yeah, so part of the challenge with my schedule at CHA is that I'm teaching at the trade show, and I'm also having meetings. And so even though I might be there, I might be in an office, or I might be away for lunch or dinner at a meeting, which is good because we're all there to have to do business. But I tracked down Eileen Hull today at the end of the show, and we were like, yeah, you know, it's good that we're busy. It's good that we have all this stuff on our plate, but sometimes it makes it really hard to see everybody that you want to see, and then to also see all the things that we want to see. So like it took me the whole show to get over to see Eileen in her booth, and that's just kind of the reality of it. Is like, as you keep working more and more, you have less and less time. Hi, Yvette. Welcome. All right, so my voice is kind of going out, but I'm hoping that I can tell you guys a little more stuff. My husband is here in Long Beach on a work conference, so I decided to come and stay with him. He's at a party, so I was just sitting in the room, chilling out. I tried to take a nap, and I totally couldn't. So I figured I would talk to you guys. All right, Gina, when do the companies start rolling out their new lines? As soon as CHE is over? Yeah, so it varies from company to company, and it depends on where their products are produced. So ClearSnap, for example, all the products are made in the USA. They are ready to ship. They're all stocked in the distributors, and the distributors are shipping them right now. Whereas some of the other companies, if they're not US-based, they might be setting trends or responding to them. Okay, so Val wants to know, do you feel like CHA was more about setting trends or responding to them? Okay, so I'm going to finish the other question first. Some of the companies might be getting their product from China, so it takes a couple months for that to be delivered via container ship. So some might be, kind of what I see at the show is some stuff shipping February, March, May, a lot of things shipping in March and April. So one of the things that companies do is they see if they get enough orders here at the show to even bother going into production on certain products. So some of the products you might have seen at the show or sneak peeks might not actually be produced because they didn't get enough orders for those to make it financially viable. Man, I'm still getting like a ton of notifications. Okay, so did I think CHA was about setting trends or responding to trends? CHA all the time is about responding to trends. All the time. So there's macaroons on everything. Macaroons been done in 2015 all over the place. There was pineapples and flamingos on everything. Been done all over the place last year. They were doing Midori style notebooks, which I think is a little bit on trend. But again, that was like last year. There was a lot of Midori style notebook stuff. So I feel like CHA is very much responding to trends and not just setting trends. I can't think of anything there, and maybe I'm just kind of cynical because I've been to the show so many times. I feel like a lot of the same ideas get recycled over and over and over again. You know, pom-poms, there's lots of stuff that's party, but it's bringing back things that we've done before. Folded paper rosettes, pom-poms used to be really big, then they went away, now they're big again. So I don't think CHA is very trend-setting at all, and I don't know if that's discouraging, but I wish it was a little more trend-setting. So what was the best thing about this year's show for you, is what Val is asking. So I go to the show with much more of a business perspective, so there's a couple things that were really, really cool about this show. One of the things that I didn't expect, and then Jen Star, did I notice any new trends? Just seemed to be a lot of the same. Yeah, not really many new trends, but I'll get into that. Okay, so this show, there were a couple things that were really cool. Periscope, this is the first time that we've had a show that we've had Periscope, because it started in March last year for Apple and or for iPhone, and May for Android. So we didn't have a show since then. I thought Periscope would be a good tool to kind of see like what people liked, what they didn't like, etc. And what was really cool is that it was even more useful than I thought. Oh, thank you, Yvette. So one of the things that was so clear is, I remember I was in one of the booths yesterday, and on one of the paper collections that I was showing, oh, thank you so much, Sherry, there were tons and tons of hearts, and then I stepped over to the next paper collection that the booth was showing me, and there were like no hearts. So I didn't think, oh, thank you, Lori, I did not expect the reaction to be so pronounced, right? So that, oh, thank you, Gina. I think if I was a store owner, I would be periscoping every single thing at the show. Thanks. I would scope everything at the show because I would want to know what your guys' reaction is. So if I was a store owner and I was in that booth and there was the one collection that was getting all the hearts and the other collection wasn't getting all the hearts, I would not order the other collection. I would order the one you guys were giving hearts to. So I think it's really cool to be able to get your customers' reactions right then. So seemed like Mambi was doing something like that, is what Gwenny is saying. Val says, for real. BG Crafter says, I agree with you. I really think that it was super, super cool to be able to get your guys' reactions right then and see what you really liked and what you didn't like. And some of the boosts, you guys didn't give me like hardly any hearts at all. So I was like, wow, is this whole product, this whole thing like not cool at all? So some of that stuff was really, really cool feedback on trends. The other thing that happened, this is just something professional. A good friend of mine today, she asked me if, my mentor asked me if, what was a big thing for me professionally at the show. Gwenny was like, meh. Professionally at the show, one of the things that was cool that happened is all the time people will say, like in years past, oh, I want you to help me with my social media or my business or whatever. This year, I heard this same phrase over and over. I heard people say, I want to hire you to work with me. And that part was really, really cool. And that I think comes from just having worked really, really hard. And I try to help people genuinely. I want them to succeed. I don't want them to be scared of using new technology. Oh, thank you, Gwenny. Thanks, Yvette. Thanks, Val. So that was really cool. So I have a long list of potential clients from actual big companies that have been around 30, 40 years to individual artists that, they're coming out with a line or maybe they're established. So it was kind of across the board. It was really, really cool to get that feedback from people face to face and have them actually say, like, I want to hire you to work with me. So that was something cool for me professionally. They got to recognize. All right. So those were my two cool things at the show that I saw or that happened. So trends, Jen Star wanted to know what trends I saw. Definitely, thank you, Lori. Definitely a lot of party supplies. My Mind's Eye had party supplies. A lot of the stuff in the We Are Memory Keepers booth was geared towards parties. Richard Gray's Celebrations line was geared towards parties. A lot of the stuff in Spellbinders was party decorations. Off subject, Winnie says, where are my kiddos? My kids have gone home. So they are back home. They have to go to school. So they are already there. That was weird to me, which was weird to you, Kisses. So yeah, there was lots of party stuff. Someone needs to invite me because some of these parties because I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm like, dude, this is like a lot of work for party. Party seems more like stationery. Yeah, a lot of the companies were saying they like to go to the stationery show. What good are party supplies if you don't use them? What product did I really like? Well, I'm gonna keep finishing the trends. Oh, you'll be at Periscope Summit, Val? Oh, I would love to go to that, but I just with CHA, it's like I just had too much stuff going on. And with my husband being at this conference, it was going to be too hard for me to try to go out of town that far. You know, I'm only like an hour and a half from home right now. So if I have to go home because there's no one to watch the kids or whatever, I can totally like go home if I need to. Okay, so other trends I saw in paper crafting was definitely dies. Stamps are here to stay. Lots of dies, lots of stamps. The motifs I saw in paper crafts was lots of little cactuses and succulents. Macaroons, a couple different paper lines had macaroons, you know, a lot of like bright colors but with some kind of watercolor effects on them. There were also, okay, so I had macaroons, flamingos and pineapples too, lots of flamingos and pineapples. Definitely a lot of planners. Everybody's coming out with a planner or some kind of planner. Coloring books, coloring pages, anything that you could, you know, this black and white that you can color on. I saw a lot of that. Brush lettering, like brush lettering and stamps, new brush lettering pens, or companies like Sakura that have had brush lettering pens for a long time, focusing on showing people how to use those products in, you know, the new brush lettering style. Gina wants to know, when will the planner trend end? I don't know. Yeah, Tombow. So one of the products that was very, very cool are the new stamps that Julie Faye found Balzer has. How did I like Stampenda's products? I didn't go in the Stampenda's booth. Let me think what I was talking about. Oh, these new stamps, they're called Art Foamies and Julie Faye. They have a whole bunch of stamps in the Art Foamies booth, but they had some really cool ones by Julie Faye von Balzer. I really like her style. Hi, Cheryl's World. The thing that I liked about those foam stamps is that you could use them with ink or paint or a whole bunch of different mediums, and you can bend them. So we got one, but it's not one of Julie's. Oh, you love that when I show them. So we got one of those stamps. It's not one of Julie's. It's an elephant. But they're very cool. Really, like, I like very smart products. Like, they really thought that product through. You know, you can wash it, you can clean it, you can use it over and over. It's a nice big chunky stamp. You can use it for wall decor. You can use it for mixed media. You can make your own pattern paper, etc. I like stuff like that. So that company I thought was really cool. There were a lot of pom-pom makers. That was early in my scope. Happy about that too. Lots of pom-poms and pom-pom makers and tassels. Tassels out of tissue, tassel makers. There are two companies there with tassel makers, Clover, and then this new company named Lumi. Lumi was not very nice to me, so I don't know. Like, the product seems cool, but you know, sometimes what's hard at the show, and this is something we have to keep in mind too, if you ever do come to the show and people aren't very nice to you, it probably most of the time has nothing to do with you. It has to do with that they're like really tired, wore out. They've probably been hit up by a lot of people asking for free stuff, which is kind of a bummer. You know, I'm excited for the show moving to Phoenix for one reason only, which is that a lot of the people here locally that have had memberships forever, because they had a store in 1992 that closed and they just kept their membership, so they go to the show. They have no business being there. They won't come to the show anymore. So I'm excited for that because I feel like it will raise the level of professionalism. I saw a couple of people kind of mobbing booths, waiting outside of the Misty booth trying to snag products. I was in a booth where we were told to take all the product for a certain designer, and there were other people coming up and elbowing, and then one lady said in Spanish, she's like, oh, these are some crazy broads or whatever, and I was like, excuse me, I know Spanish. right? I was like, you were totally rude, and this product was promised to this designer, and we're just helping her gather it up because she couldn't get to the booth, so get her. So yeah, there's definitely some stupid stuff like that happens, and I can't wait for the show to move for that reason. I mean, like, I really don't like that the show's moving, but one thing I do like is that we'll get rid of a lot of the riffraff that come in. There were people there today that I know locally who are customers, and I was like, hey, who are you here with, blah blah blah, and then it was just so funny. They're like, oh, I'm here with the company. I'm like, well, what company, right? Like, I genuinely am just curious. I want to know, like, oh, what are you doing? And last year people took all of Teresa Collins' papers. Oh, that's such a bummer. Yeah, so then this person was like, oh no, it's a store. I'm like, okay, well, what store? Oh, it's an online store. I'm like, okay, what online store? And then they were so vague and weird about it. It made it weird. And then I was like, okay. I asked for a business card. She said she had no business cards. I was like, dude, your friend just rolled out a box of Vistaprint out of her backpack, so I know you have a business card. Like, people just being all funky. So you heard complaints about the amount of kids and dogs at the show. There were a couple dogs, which was odd. There were a lot of kids. And I actually ran into a couple of vendors who were like, oh my God, how did you get your kids in the show? And I said, well, they have a legit reason for being there. And I'm sure that there are some people who kind of look down on me for bringing my kids to the show, but I'm like, Matthew has done paid work for companies. He's done YouTube videos. Katie has a YouTube channel, and she's actually starting this whole like consulting thing with companies, doing stuff for them. Take you as my Spanish speaker, you'll get them for me. Yeah, those ladies were totally rude. I was like, excuse me, I know Spanish. I don't speak it, but I know Spanish. Thanks, kisses for tweets. Yeah, I got compliments that my kids were professional, but they get tired. It's a lot of show for them. Matthew had me buying stuff while watching him. Yes, I did follow all of the rules. I had my waivers. I went to the front desk. I waited an hour in the show office on the first day to make sure all my waivers were in place. But, not everybody does that. And it's not, I don't think, because people are trying to skirt the rules. I think it's because they just don't know the systems in place, Oh, you didn't mean mine, Jen Star. No. I totally understand. I think that sometimes people will see any kids on the show floor and they get kind of crotchety or, oh, thank you, Lori. I told him I need to train him on his scope sweater because he's like scooping everybody's butt. I was like, you need to hold your camera higher. No, but I think people get kind of cranky at the show, and they just see anybody's kids and they get kind of cranky about it because they feel like, oh, little kids. Yeah, there's lots of babies, little kids. I feel like people get upset because they're like, it's supposed to be professional. And I mean, it's across the board. There's people that bring their kids that act unprofessional. I saw this one lady who had her daughter with her, and she had her boobs hanging out and her midriff showing. And I was like, can you try to dress like professional, like a little bit? So, thanks, Sylvia. Yeah, so it's hard. It's a fine line. It's a fun show. It's a hobby for a lot of people. And so it's like, yeah, like my kids are there doing stuff, but it's kind of a cougar crafter. It's kind of hard for people to stomach the kids sometimes because they really, it's really hard to tell, and even with adults too, it's hard to tell, like, do they have a legit reason for being there? And, maybe in some people's book, my kids don't have enough legitimacy to be there. And then maybe in other people's books, yeah, they're legit. It's just like, I think if you're there trying to do something cool for your business, trying to do something cool for the industry, then you should be there, and even if people have like a 3-year-old, if they're doing something cool, then they should be there doing their cool thing, right? Yvette wants to know, do I think the sales are on the upswing? So some of the feedback that I got from the vendors was that, yes, the show was really, really small. Not very many people. One of the comments I heard was on the first day was like, this feels like the last day of the show. But every time I went by a booth, people were writing orders. I heard from lots of people that, there's not a lot of people here, but the people who are here, most of them are serious buyers. So that was good to hear. So Illustrated Faith was cool. Documented Faith with I think it's Stephanie Ackerman's Documented Faith, that looked good. I didn't get to see all of Jamie Doherty's stuff, and I really wanted to see her new line. Didn't have a chance to really go in there and check it out. It was just kind of the drawback, there's like, oh, come to our media breakfast, and I'm like, yay, and then I'm all, crap, I have a meeting or I have a class at that time, and so then sometimes I miss out on stuff because I'm like way overbooked. So there are a lot of things I wanted to see that I didn't get to see. You want all of Clear Snap. Oh, thank you guys. I know Clear Snap, we work like really, really hard. And, oh my God, it's so cold out here, you guys. It's like by the beach. All right, so Clear Snap, we work really, really hard on trying to get new product and testing new products. All right, loving all of Tim Holtz stuff. Oh, I sold it for you. Florence Antoinette was scoping too. I don't know who Florence Antoinette is. I'm going to have to check her out. Sandy Allnock did a great job with the scopes. Kelly Clapstein. I'm trying to think who else was periscoping that was doing well. Eileen Hull said she just started periscoping, so I'd love it if you guys followed Eileen Hull here on Periscope. Val says she has to watch it all tonight on Catch. So many people were scoping. It was funny seeing teachers and vendors getting used to it. Scrappy Sisters did great is what Yvette says. Yeah, so I started scoping and Maggie Holmes was like, I haven't been on a Periscope before. I was like, oh. She said, oh, Beth says so much of what she saw won't make it to Australia. Yeah, and you know what? It's funny. There's this company that I shared some of their stuff on Scrappy Camper Sisters. All right, there's this company, Pent Art. They're from Hungary or Budapest. And they have some really cool mixed media products. And I got a bunch of them last year. And then I actually used some of them on a Periscope showing how their product works. Their pearl pens, which I think are excellent pearl pens. And then I realized you can't get the product anywhere here in the U.S. So it's only in Europe right now. So I saw them again at the show and I was like, oh my gosh, I love your product, but I can't get it in the U.S. and I can't like keep telling everybody about it because they're going to get upset. And so they said that they were here at the show again trying to get distribution, and the last I heard from them was that they actually got some distribution here in the U.S. so their product will be here. But I think one of the big challenges with getting product to other countries is getting distribution and dealing with all of the taxes for importing and exporting, and then just the shipping is like insane. So there was an Australian stamp company I saw at the show, and I would have loved to try to do some stuff with them with ClearSnap because their stamps were really cool, but I was like, oh man, they're in Australia. It's going to be really, really hard to try to get their product and get our product to them. Beth says, well done. What did I do that was well done? And my husband just texted me that he's going to this restaurant, so I guess I probably should like walk over to the restaurant or something. Oops, and meet them. Oh, pentartdecor.blogspot.com. Thank you so much, Val. Yeah, they do cool stuff. And France Papillon, she's one of my friends. I love her. She is designing for them. Yeah, Beth says, tell me about it. And the dollar exchange is a killer. Yeah, so I heard Kathy. Was it Kathy Allen? I think it was Kathy Allen talking, or maybe it was Deborah Quartermain. There's a lot of Canadian designers, and they were talking about like they had to pay $13 for something, which is in US, which is like $20 Canadian, and they're like, I just about died. Oh, Kisses says she loves the scope so much that I have to be exhausted. I am exhausted, but I mean, I'll sleep. I did have a coffee this afternoon, so I won't sleep right now, right away, but I will sleep. I'll have time to sleep. That's why I'm kind of like just hanging out with my husband and gonna chill out. Oh, my scopes made your weekend. Thank you. One day Amazon drones will fly to Australia is what Val says. That's really funny. Yeah, so let me think of some other stuff that I saw that was trends. A couple booths had teepees. We Are Memory Keepers is selling a teepee kit, which I think is a little bit silly, but kind of smart. It'd be interesting to see how that sells. Spellbinders had a full-size teepee that you could walk into. Oh, the music boxes. Okay. Oh, the Little Bee wood music boxes were super, super adorable. Gwynny says that's really silly. Little Bee had these wood music boxes. They make me think of like these little Scandinavian ornaments, or these, what is that called? Avon ornaments for my grandma. Oh, Beth Harris says she has a guest house. Come have a workshop here. So they had these really, really cute little wood figurines, and then these little wood pedestals that you put a music box into, and you set your little figurines on it. It was super, super adorable. I went over there to kind of look at that stuff, but when I was going to booths too, you guys, I had my editorial calendar, so I was kind of on a mission for like, okay, what am I going to be doing? Like in March, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on craft room organizing. So, you know, I want to work with Deflecto, who has organizing stuff, and Art Bin, and companies like that. So there were companies that had cool things, but they didn't necessarily fit into my editorial calendar. And because I had so short of time, thank you. Because I was so short of time, I had to make sure that I went to places that fit in my editorial calendar. So Yvette says, some of the people that scope need professional speaking and dress training. I could help. Oh no. Oh, you felt like you were there with me, Lori. Thank you. Oh, thank you guys so much. Yes, those little wood figurines were so adorable. You need that so bad. Winter cleaning to prepare for spring is what Val says. So yeah, we're going to do some scrapbook organizing, and then I'm going to kind of revisit that topic again in September, I think. So Shelly says, looking forward to that. She's currently purging her craft hoard. So if you guys have been on my blog, last June, I did a post on 17 places where you can sell your crafty stash. So I know one of the challenges in getting rid of your stuff is that you feel like, oh man, I'm like throwing away all this money. Lori says she needs to do that. Shelly says maybe she can help with, or Val says maybe she can help Shelly with that. So, trying to think like other cool stuff I saw. You know, lots of lettering pens, fiber arts. There were several yarn companies this year. There's a really giant new knitting loom thing from the Authentic Knitting Board. They're very cool people, very nice. Let me think what else. A couple different companies had photo transfer mediums, which I thought was cool. What else? Man, my nose is running. It's like really cold out here. Hi, Margot D. Oh, man, my nose is running, you guys. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else was cool. I don't know. It's hard to know. Like, I feel like sometimes I can leave the show. Oh, the Cray pen for your son kisses for tweets. Okay, so they had the Cray pen for sale already. What about the Toto? I don't know what that was. I think, isn't it like a die cut machine or something? I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of die cut machines. Like, what do I need another die cut machine? Oh, all in one. Daniel Smith watercolor. I don't know what that one was either. Sorry, guys. All right, so for all sizes of dies. Yeah, I think someone told me like embossing folders, dies, all that different stuff. Some of that stuff I don't look at because of my competitors. So, or because of my alliances with companies. Yes, Color Burst from Ken Oliver was great. Distressed crayons, I didn't look at those because they're from a competitor of Clear Snap. But yeah, the new metallic Color Bursts, I think they look like metals that Ken Oliver had, were very cool. And he's just kind of a fun, nice guy. Ah, crud. My husband's calling me, you guys, so I am going to go ahead and go and answer that. But thank you so much for tuning into my scope. I will talk to you guys again soon. Oh, the Misty. Yeah, I need to totally check out the Misty, you guys. I went over to their booth. They're super nice. They're working with Jeannie Oliver. She's super great. All right, you guys, I'm going to go see what my husband wants. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you later. Bye. If I can stop this scope.